What's the one thing that really separates a good designer from a great one? I think it might just be this: the ability to get real, raw, unfiltered feedback from users. Not just, polite nods and smiles. So let's get into how you can actually do that. So I want to start with a question, and it's a little direct. When you're in those user interviews, are you users lying to you? Well, the answer is yeah, they are. But here's the thing, and this is super important. It's not their fault at all. See, people are hardwired to be polite. They want to help you out. They don't want to crush your dreams. And that good intention, that desire to be nice, that's exactly what can lead you to build something nobody actually wants. We actually have a name for this. It's called the polite lie. It's that natural human instinct to just be agreeable. And honestly, it's the biggest hurdle you'll face when trying to figure out if your ideas have any legs. Your entire job is to get past it. So what are we even talking about when we say influencing a user? Well, it's when you accidentally, nudge them toward the answer you're hoping for. Maybe you suggest an answer, or you get too excited and pitch your idea way too early, or you're just looking for a pat on the back instead of real understanding. The second you do any of that, the learning just stops. Here's a great way to frame this for yourself. Think like an engineer running an experiment. If they keep messing with the test conditions, what happens? The data becomes totally useless, right? Well, in an interview, you are a major test condition. Your job isn't to be a salesperson and convince them, it's to be a scientist and just observe. To really help you stay in that neutral, scientific mindset, let's go over what not to do. We're going to call these the 5 interviewing sins. These are the most common traps that will absolutely torpedo any chance you have of getting real insight. First on the list, sin number 1, asking leading questions. A question like, wouldn't it be easier if? Isn't really a question. It's a plea for a yes. And believe me, you will almost always get one. Instead, try something totally open-ended like, how do you currently handle this task? That forces them to talk about their reality, not just agree with your fantasy. And that brings us to sin number 2, asking those simple dead-end yes or no questions. Do you like this? Where do you go from there? It's a total dead end. But asking for a story, tell me about the last time oh man, that's where the magic happens. Stories are just jam-packed with behavior, with context, with emotion. That's the good stuff you're really after. Oh, this next sin is so easy to commit. You're so excited about your brilliant solution, so you just blurt it out. But the moment you say, so I'm designing a simpler checkout for you, you've totally changed the game. They're not a subject anymore. They're your cheerleader. They're trying to be supportive. Don't even mention your idea. First, you have to truly, deeply understand their pain. Okay, this next one. This one is tough. I get it. A user totally misunderstands how your product is supposed to work. Your gut reaction, your instinct is to jump in and correct them, right? Oh no, you just click here. You have to fight that urge with everything you've got, seriously. Because their confusion, that's the insight. It's a giant flashing neon sign that your design is confusing. And finding that out, that's pure gold. And our final sin, asking hypothetical questions about the future. Here's a fun fact. Humans are absolutely terrible at predicting what they'll do. Asking, what would you do if, is just inviting them to make stuff up. It's a guess. So instead, you want to ask about what they did. Past behavior is a way, way more reliable predictor of future behavior. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the traps to avoid. Now, let's flip the script and talk about the antidote. These are the 4 golden rules for getting that unbiased, high-quality feedback we're all looking for. So here are the first 3 rules, and they should sound pretty familiar. 1, always ask about the past. It's fact, not fiction. 2, ask for stories, not opinions, because stories are full of concrete details about behavior. And 3, stay neutral. Your tone of voice, your body language, even a little nod can signal approval. You've got to be a blank slate. Now that 4th rule, it's so important, it gets its own moment. The 4th golden rule is to let silence do the work. This is so powerful. You know that moment when a user pauses? Your instinct is to jump in, to fill that awkward gap with another question. Don't do it. Just wait. Because that silence, that's where the real thinking is happening. Give them that space, and I promise you, what comes out next is often the most insightful thing you'll hear all day. So this all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like in a real interview? Let's walk through a couple of quick examples so you can see how applying these rules can totally transform the conversation. Okay, imagine you're working on a food delivery app. A bad question is, do you think ordering food is easy? It's a yes-no question, a total dead end. A much better approach is a sequence. You start with a story. Tell me about the last time you ordered food. Then you drill down. What happened next? And here's the killer question. Where did you hesitate? See? You're uncovering the friction points without ever using the word problem. This works for big abstract ideas too. You can't just ask someone, hey, do you trust our new fintech app? Trust isn't something people can just state. It's revealed through their actions and feelings. So you ask about a specific time they transferred money. You ask what they were worried about, what made them feel nervous or confident. The answers to those questions will give you a real, textured understanding of trust. So, how many people do you need to talk to, really? This might surprise you. For this kind of qualitative work, you're not looking for statistical significance. You're looking for patterns, for recurring themes. And you'd be amazed. Those patterns often start to emerge after just 5 to 7 solid conversations. And really, all of this points to a fundamental shift in your mindset. You are not there to get your idea validated. You're not looking for a thumbs up. You are on a mission to find insight. You're trying to understand your user's world so deeply that the right solution just becomes obvious. And if you remember only one thing from this whole explainer, make it this. This is the ultimate litmus test. If every user is agreeing with you and telling you your ideas are brilliant, you are interviewing incorrectly, 100% of the time. A constant yes isn't a sign of success. It's a giant red flag that you're not learning anything new. So when you've really nailed it, this is what you walk away with. Not just a simple yes or no. You walk away with a rich understanding of actual user behavior, of their secret frustrations, and those weird little moments of hesitation they didn't even know they had. That is the treasure you're digging for. So I'll just leave you with this thought. Now that you have these techniques, think about your own project, your own idea. What hidden problems, what surprising behaviors, and what game-changing insights are just sitting there, waiting for your users to reveal them if you just start asking in the right way?